Welcome to the online library project where we learn English and spend our time comfortably and usefully. Today we are going to work on the topic Legendary Past. We are going to find out more about the history of the mother country of English. I think you already know that English has its origin in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But do you know who the head of state in the UK is? Do you know that there is monarchy in the UK? Do you know that there are many beautiful old castles in the UK? The UK is also represented by the Queen. Do you know what the name of the present British Queen is? Have you studied about the history of the UK at your history lessons? What other British kings and queens do you know? If you know that, then today we are going to revise a little. But if you don't know, today we are going to learn together. Firstly, I would like you to look at this photo. This is a very famous place in London. This is the 10th Downing Street, and here it is the official residence and the office of the British Prime Minister. So, the head of the state in the UK is the British monarch, and currently Elizabeth II is the head of state and the sovereign. But she is not the head of the government, because the head of the government is the UK Prime Minister. This is a picture of Queen Elizabeth II. She is the head of state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. She lives in London in the Buckingham Palace. Do you know that in summer the Buckingham Palace is open to the visitors, so you can go into the palace and see how the royals live? In this picture, you can see Queen Victoria. Today, we are going to learn some new information about her. But before we read, I would like us to go through some words that are going to be in the text, and some of you might not know them. So look, listen and repeat. The first word, dignity. Next, popularity. The next, journal. Great grandchild. Length. The verbs to restore, to succeed, to reign. Be careful, the G is not pronounced, it's a silent letter. To reign, to propose, and to marry. The first word is dignity, demnitate. It is a very important value and quality. For example, we must live our lives with dignity, cu demnitate. The next word is popularity. The word is similar to Romanian or even Russian languages, popularitate. Usually musicians, singers, and actors and actresses have a lot of popularity. A journal. A journal is like a personal book. People have journals to write there some personal information. Many writers and poets have journals and they use them to write stories and poems. A great grandchild is the translation in Romanian strănepot. For example, a child has parents. The parents have their parents, so the child calls them grandparents. But if grandparents have their parents still alive, then the child calls them great grandparents. The next word is length. Length is a word used for measuring. Translation lungime. For example, if you look around, you can measure a wall and see the length of it. We can also use the word length for describing how long you have done an activity. If you study at the same school for 6 years, then you can say that the length of your studying at the same school is for 6 years. The verb to restore. A restitui, a reda, a restabili, a restaura. So a lot of translations. For example, if someone takes a book from you and you cannot get it back, but you want it back, you can get someone to help you and get your book restored. Another example, we have many old houses in villages and we love our traditions, so we want our houses to be restored. Restaurate, in this case. The verb to succeed is a very nice word. A avea succes. We all want to succeed in our activities or games. But the verb to succeed also means to follow. În limba română, a succede, a urma. For example, the king died and the son or daughter can succeed him. Să îl urmeze. The next word is to reign. Be careful with the pronunciation. Reign. So G is a silent letter. To reign. A domni. For example, in the UK, Queen Elizabeth II has reigned for 60 years already. To propose. To propose is a verb that is translated as a propune. When people want to get married, a man usually proposes to a woman to get married. And to marry means a se căsători. After the man proposes to a woman, they can marry and start a family together. And now we are going to read the text and learn about Queen Victoria's reign. Queen Victoria succeeded her uncle William IV as Queen of England in 1837 at the age of 18 și a urmat unchiul William al IV-lea. She reigned for 64 years. A domnit timp de 64 de ani. Victoria first learned of her future role, a aflat despre viitorul său rol, as a young princess during a history lesson, în timpul lecției de istorie, when she was 10 years old. And she declared, I will be good. Și a declarat, eu voi fi bună. Queen Victoria proposed to her cousin, a propus căsătoria verișorului său, Prince Albert, on October 15th, 1839. She described her impressions of him in the journal she kept throughout her life. Pe tot parcursul vieții. Albert really is quite charming and so handsome. Quite charming, destul de fermecător. They married on February 10th, 1840. They had 9 children. There were 37 great-grandchildren alive at her death. 37 de stră-nepoți erau vii când ea a murit. Her long reign became a legend. Deci, domnia sa a devenit o legendă. By the length of her reign, the longest in English history, she restored both the dignity and popularity of the British Crown. A restabilit demnitatea și popularitatea coroanei britanice. Now we are going to work with the text, and our task is to find the opposites of these words in the text. We have the words ugly, lust or lest, past or past, bad, old, his, life, short, king, aunt, mătușă, prince, and grandparents. So let us begin. We have the first paragraph. Can you identify any opposites? So the first one is queen. What is the opposite of queen? It is king. Next, we have uncle. The opposite of uncle is aunt. The next word is first. The opposite of first is last. Next one is her. The opposite of her is his. The next word is future, and the opposite of future is past. The next word is young, and the opposite of young is old. The next word is princess, and the opposite of princess is prince. The next word is good, and the opposite of good is bad. Okay, so the next paragraph, and let us see what other opposites we can find here. So the first one is charming or handsome, and the opposite of charming or handsome is ugly. The next one is grandchildren, so the opposite is grandparents. And the word death, the opposite of which is life. And in the last paragraph, we must find the opposite of short, which is the word long. Correct. Now we are going to work with correcting the following false sentences. So the first sentence is William IV was Queen Victoria's father. So the mistake is in Queen Victoria's father because in the text we can see that William IV was Queen Victoria's uncle. The next one is Queen Victoria became queen at the age of 24, and this is false because she became queen at the age of 18. Okay, in the next two sentences, she didn't want to be a good queen. So here we have a mistake in the whole sentence. So she didn't want to be a good queen is actually false because she declared, I will be good. The fourth sentence, she didn't like Albert. And in fact, in the text, we can see that she kept a journal where she wrote, Albert really is quite charming and so handsome. Sentence number 5. Queen Victoria didn't have any children. And of course, the mistake is didn't have any children. We can see in the text that she had 9 children and there were 37 great-grandchildren alive at her death. The next sentence, Queen Victoria's reign was the shortest in English history, cea mai scurtă, and it is of course a mistake because it was the longest. Queen Victoria restored the dignity of France, and the mistake is in the word France because we can see according to the text, Queen Victoria restored the dignity of the British crown. Now that we have finished working with the text, I recommend you to have some reflection time and find a book that tells more about the British monarchy. Maybe some adventure stories or legends. If you can't find anything in English, maybe you can find some books in your school library or online in your mother tongue. Good luck and have a great time reading!